take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much, don't worry about game plans as much as players. So look at your play sheet and think, give it to the guys who play best and don't worry about the rest of it.
So first and 10 now from the 30. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. Second and 10. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Throwing is Wilson. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Andre Cisco. And the Jags are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
On first and 10, it's Etienne. And he is going to lose yardage here. Quentin Williams, so hard to block, and he shows it that time, making the tackle for loss.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot, and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
So now they have to contend with second and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Lawrence. He'll get that underneath Etienne. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Etienne bringing in another one. Touchdown, Jaguars. Travis Etienne, 31 yards. And they are able to add on to their advantage. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Ball again on second down. And this looks a lot like the last play. Behind the line of scrimmage, he's tackled for the second straight go-around. Great job by this Jacksonville D.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
On is the punter man as he boots this one away. On the return, here's Agnew. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10.
Ready, break.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And listen, these Thursday night games, they're tough on the body. You just played on Sunday. 72 hours later, hey, it's game day again. But I have to think a Thursday night game in September much more preferable than a Thursday nighter in December, no?
Well, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned how tough it is on the body. How about the mind? You're already tired, fatigued, right? Trying to battle for playoff spots. And here you have the quick turnaround. Now, the flip side is, if you take care of business, win that Thursday nighter, you go into a mini open week. Gives you a few extra days to heal up the body and the mind before you play your next game.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Lawrence will throw. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. LaMarcus Joyner with a pick. And the Jets are going to take over at their own 41. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
Second and 5 now. Wilson. That is caught. It's Uzama. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. Second and 7, operating from the 34. Here's Wilson. Open man is Uzama. And they'll work this down inside the 30. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. First and 10 here. And, you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey. A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. Minus 9 yards on the play, and now it's third down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. LaMarcus Joyner with a pick. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Jet touchdown. Well, here in this third quarter, the whole complexion of the ball game flips on a dime there, CD. This is back to a one-score game.
And sometimes when your offense is sputtering, you as a defensive unit have to take it upon yourselves to say, we've got to go out there, maybe take a few chances along the way, and see if we can generate some points ourselves. And lo and behold, they were able to deliver.
Zerline good with a PAT, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And he returns this to the 22. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2. Lawrence giving to ETN here on the option. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on third down.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. They'll run with ETN. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Jordan Whitehead. And the Jets are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. They'll set up the screen for Hall. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. Now Wilson. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. So still no touchdowns allowed by this defense. They get the interception there. CD, they have been rock solid.
And at this point, I think they have to expect that they're going to see some shots taken down the field. And that was almost a desperation throw right there, just kind of hoping something good can happen, a completion, a pass interference. But this was anticipated well, and they came up with the INT.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL.
And now here's another interception. picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Jets are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He went backwards there 8 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
An 8-yard loss on the play. It's now 3rd down.
Wilson. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down. Here's the Jets punter now. Standing just outside his own goal line. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Agnew now to return. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
On 2nd down, a run with Etienne. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. A Jacksonville 1st down on a pickup of 17. On 1st down, right back to Etienne. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Etienne once more. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. Now Lawrence. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab it, and that'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky. Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful ahead as this game progresses.
It'll be 4th and inches.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Lawrence on the sneak, and he's got the 1st down as he gets it to the 8. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down.
Well, you just totally get the sense there that a field goal was not in the game plan at all.
And the boys up front, they created the surge. I think they knew that they had the leverage advantage.
Oh, that's a great point there. Being able to get lower than the defense in front, create just enough space. And I love when those quarterbacks get low and slide in there and get it done.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Call it a loss of 14 on the play, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Etienne. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, you remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to...
On a huge mistake late, it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him, let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. A play fake for Robinson. Now Lawrence. And the pressure gets there. He'll go down. It's a sack. And it is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. By that time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end, have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually cut that one off. Really nice play coming off the edge.
We've got a 1-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Back to throw, Lawrence. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats inbounds.
And that's off the right upright. Thought it might sneak in, but it did not. It's no good. And this will remain a 1-touchdown game. So this defense gets an assist from the goalpost, and as a result, it's going to keep them within one score.
Yeah, that looked to be good the whole way. But that is a big break here in the fourth quarter of a football game. Now your offense needs to find a way to capitalize.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards. Wilson to throw. And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Rayshawn Jenkins picks it off, and the Jags are going to take possession of the football. Agreed, that's twice now in this fourth quarter.
As a quarterback, a lot of times you think it's all on you to make plays when you're losing. And here, the play's not there, but he throws it anyway.
Throwing quickly, this is caught by Kirk. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. Here's Lawrence. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And the Jets are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
That's a beautiful read there by the safety. His zone coverage, so he's just going to sit back and watch. He knows he can't get beat deep because he has the end line to protect him. So he can react to everything in front of him, and he makes a great break on the football and comes down with the interception.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
There's Wilson. Dwayne Smoot in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. He'll look to throw. And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Shaquille Griffin with a pick, and the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football. And you have to wonder, Charles, on a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
Well, CD, for the losing side, they had opportunities in this one, but big plays just didn't go their way, especially late, and they have to suffer the L here.
It certainly felt like that takeaway, once it happened, it knocked the wind out of their sails.